Hi everyone, my name is Agnes Fries and I'm the creator of the online design tool called the Grid Designer. The Grid Designer is a drawing tool for creating craft color charts. You can use the Grid Designer to make charts for crafts like knitting, crochet, latch hook, cross stitch, and anything else where you need a grid-based color chart. As you're listening to this video, there are 3 things I'd like to ask you to do. 1, if there's content in the video that's useful for you, please click the like button at the bottom of the screen. If you want to see more content like this, click the subscribe button on the lower right corner of the screen. If you have any questions or comments, please leave me a comment below the video. Thanks for watching. In this video, I'm going to show you how to digitize a silhouette, a picture of a silhouette, and then put that over a colored background. We're going to be creating this this color pattern, color chart. First, I'm going to create it for a latch hook project, and later I'm going to convert it to a graphgan because this would work really well with the graphgan. We've just got one color across each row with the black interspersed. That'll work really well, and would be also a beautiful latch hook rug. So I'm going to do both of those things. And then again at the very end, I'm going to show you a little bit more digitizing with another silhouette. That'll be a little bit harder than this tree was because this is a simple picture. So that's what we'll be doing in this video. So let's start from scratch. I'm going to close this. And I'm going to start here from freezeworks.com. That's my website. And the grid designer is here. So we're just going to click on that, and that will bring up the grid designer with the default project in it. And then we're going to create a project from an image. So I'm going to say create from image. And let me just show you. We're going to be taking this pixabay image here of this tree silhouette. That I found on Pixabay. I just went to pixabay.com, pixabay.com, and I searched for silhouette tree, and I found several things, and this was one that I thought that I could use. Okay, so I've already downloaded that, and it's on my machine here. So let's go and get that. Let's see, where do I want to be? Over here. So let me find my tree. There it is. I actually have 2 copies of it, it looks like. So let's open that up. Okay, there's my tree. I'm going to work first on the latch hook rug, so I'm going to pull up, just use Hirschner's latch hook yarn. This is going to be actually very simple colors. Probably any of these latch hook yarns would work in the palette because we're going to just be doing black for the tree, and then a series of colors in the back that are going to be like a rainbow. Okay, so there's the start of it digitizing. We're only going to need 2 colors, so I'll put in 2 colors. So we just got black and white. And then let's look at our grid size here. So in order to be able to define this in inches or centimeters, we go here first to define units. And this asks us information about what kind of project we're working on, to figure out like what the relationship is between the holes in the grid and inches. So I'm going to do this latch hook canvas here, this 5 mesh. Okay. And we're going to go here and do that. Okay. So now we've got that defined. So now I know that 195 holes across is going to be 39 inches, which is a little big. I think I want it more like 20 inches. So I'm going to put in 20. That will compute and say that's 100 holes. So 100 holes is 20 inches. So it's going to be about a 20 by 20 inch square. There are some things at this scale that you kind of do lose in here. There's some apples in the tree over here that kind of get a little bit mangled. We can do some correction when we do that. So we'll do that. It didn't seem to make much difference when which digitization type I used here. So maybe sharp is a little bit better. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick with that. So I have my palette, I set my grid size, digitization type, we'll just use the default sharp, and we'll click on create project. Okay, so now I have my project. I think I'm going to do just a few corrections here, like maybe that apple needs a little bit. I think there's an apple over here, and there's an apple up above here, and one down here. Maybe something like that. I think this is an apple. And there's one over here, I think, too. It's kind of hard to make that one look much like an apple, unless we change the leaf there. It's coming up. Maybe we can do that. Okay, so there's a few apples in the tree. Maybe we do something like that. Okay. Okay, but in general, it's kind of a leafy structure. Might add a little bit more in here where the lines go, kind of get them connected a little bit better. Something like that. Okay. Anyway, that looks pretty good. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is I'm going to save this tree, just the black and white tree, as one project. And then I'm going to be opening up, let me just do the save. Then I'm going to create a separate project for the background, for the colored background. So we'll call this black tree, and we'll save that. Okay. Then I want to create the colored background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little bit bigger than this one. I've already saved that one, so I'm going to go ahead and say new project here. And it takes whatever settings you had from the previous project that you had open. So it's already set to latch hook, 5 mesh canvas, 102 by 100. So, but I want it to be a little bit bigger because notice the tree comes right to the very edge of this, and I don't want the tree to be right on the edge of the rug or the graphgan. So let's go ahead and add a little bit here. So I'm just going to add 10 rows and 10 columns to it, so we can have 5 extra on the top and 5 extra on the bottom and side to side too. So, and then we've got latch hook yarn here, so I'm going to say create project. Now we've got a new project here, and on this project I'm going to be putting my color bars. Now I've got 7 colors. I've got violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red that I'm going to put here. So let me just pick up my calculator because I want to figure out how wide my stripes are going to be. So I've got a calculator here, 112 rows altogether, divided by 7 colors is going to give me 16 rows for each color. And it's nice that it comes out completely evenly there. So, okay. So 16 rows per color. Now to help me make my rows, I'm going to use this rule line feature that's over here under the display menu. This rule line will put in some heavy lines over the grid wherever in whatever spacing you decide to do. There's some predefined ones every 5 rows, every 10 rows, every 20 rows, and you can just also type in whatever you want. So I'm going to draw these lines every 16 rows, and that will help me decide where my stripes are going to go. So we'll start here at the bottom, and we're going to start with violet down here at the bottom or something, whatever I want to put in for that. Let's see, dark purple. Let's go with this dark lavender. So we'll put this line in here. Then I'll use the fill tool, click on that to fill it. Then I'm going to do the color that would be for indigo. Let's do a like a blue violet here. So we'll make another line and then fill. And after that would be blue. So let's pick out a blue, make another line and fill. And I'm just going to keep doing this all the way up. I'm going to get green. Let's pick rainforest. Put that on there. Fill it in. Next color is yellow. And we'll fill that in. Next color is orange. We'll draw a line and then fill it in. Next color is red. Whoops, I'm in the wrong menu. Red. Red here. Oh, I don't need a line this time. So we'll just fill that in. Okay, so now I've got my rainbow of colors to go behind the tree that I'm going to do. Now I have to put these two projects together. First, let me save this. So we'll save this as color background. Okay, and we'll say save project. Okay, now I have to get the tree from the one project and paste it on top of this. And then we can save it as, tree with the background or something like that. So I'm going to leave this project for the moment and I'm going to go open the tree project. So we've got black tree here. Then I'm going to say select all. That draws the little dashed lines around my selection here. Then I'm going to say copy. That puts a copy of it in the computer memory in the clipboard. Now I go back to my background project. So I'm going to go open my color background. There it is. Okay. And now I'm going to say paste. Okay. Now we have our tree here. Now the tree will paste with the background in it. So its original background color was white. And one thing that's interesting was if before we did the, copy out of this tree picture, if we had switched the background colors white and black, then it would think of the black as being the background color and the white as being the foreground color, which would make a difference here. And I'll tell you in a second what that is, because right now the white is the background color. So when we come down here and we grab this little button down here, this allows us to toggle the background on and off. So we can either turn it off or turn it on. So we can do it either way. And what's interesting is that if we had actually switched the white and the black as the definitions of foreground and background, then what would happen is we would have a solid white thing with holes where the black spaces were. So that's another thing that you could do. Is another variation where you could have put a silhouette on here and have the colors show through in the center of the silhouette, where the black is, the color could come through there instead of on the outside. So that's another possibility, another thing that you could do, in this situation. So I allowed 5 spaces on each side. So let me just take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's got to come down maybe right there. 1, 2. Yeah, I think that's still 4. Yeah, it's still 4. So let's move it down 1 notch. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and we've got 5 on the sides. So now we're going to hit our apply button over here. There is another video on cut, copy, and paste, which that you should probably, look at. It's on, I forgot the title of the video, but it's a cut, copy, it's a paste and select or something like that. So apply to grid. I'll probably put a little thing in here that will pop up for that. So apply that to grid. Let me click this button here, zoom to show all. will resize whatever you've got to just fit on the screen so we can see all of it at one time. So I clicked on that and now we have it here. Okay, so that is going to be our latch hook rug. So let's save it. I don't want to save it directly as color background. I'm going to save it as a save as. And I'm going to say tree with background. Tree with background, and this is latch hook. Latch hook. Okay, so we're going to save that project. Now, let's convert this over to a graphgan. For those people who are, doing crochet projects, let's go into, let's see, two things I want to do. I guess first thing I want to do is I want to go over here and change the cell size. Okay, so we're basically changing the type, which is going to change the shape of the cells for us because in crochet, the cells are not quite square. They're going to be like little rectangles, but they're almost square. So it's going to look almost the same. And I'm just going to do this with Red Heart Super Saver, which is a medium weight yarn. I've only got one predefined gauge in here for worsted weight yarn. So we'll just pick that and put this in for that. Okay. Now the other thing we want to do is we want to change our palette because we don't want it to be using latch hook yarn. We want it to be using our Red Heart Super Saver yarn. So let's scroll down here and pick that one. Then let's say use palette. Okay. Then we get some options here. We can either open a new project with this palette that we've now selected, or we can convert the current project, which is what we want to do. Oh, you know what? I need to save that first. Looks like I haven't saved that. Just want to make sure I've got tree with background latch hook. Okay, so let me get back here. We're going to pick our Red Heart Super Saver. And we're just going to click use palette, and then we're going to click convert current project. Okay, and so this puts us into a dialog that's a lot like when we're doing substitution of colors. That's in some of the other videos. And basically what we are doing is substituting the color in from one palette for a color in another palette. So we've got Rainforest in the Hirschner's Latch Hook yarn, and I want it to be, I want to pick something in Super Saver, so we'll pick medium time. And this one, this checkbox up here will try to get you the closest color match to whatever you're, substituting here. So I click on closest, and then I can just pick the color there that it found. Closest is that one. Closest is flame. Closest to blue violet is a blue, some blues, but let's pick this kind of dark purpley, or maybe, no, that's a navy. Okay, let's pick that dark purpley one. And then bright red is going to match up with hot red. And we'll do dark lavender is going to match up with lavender. And black actually comes up with coffee first, but here's black right here. So we'll just do that. Okay, so those are all our conversions. So now we're going from the latch hook yarn to the Red Heart Super Saver. Okay, so it looks it looks very similar, but now when you print the pattern out and that kind of thing, it will say those other yarns. So now before I don't want to save it with this thing. I want to save it as my other thing. Tree with background, and this is a graphgan. It's a graphgan with Super Saver. Okay, so I'm going to call that tree with background graphgan. Okay, so we'll save it as that. So now we have two projects here, one with the one that's latch hook and one that's graphgan. Okay, so one last thing that I wanted to show is that you can also Oh, and let me just say, I'm going to put the links for both of these projects in the description for this video. So look down below the video in the description and you'll find the link to each of the color patterns. Each of the color charts will be down in there. And you can pick those up and actually edit them in the grid designer if you want to. Um, I'll show you I'll show you how that shares in just a second. Okay, but I'm going to do one other thing here in terms of the digitization. So let's take a picture that looks something like this. Here's a sunrise meditation picture that's also a free download on Pixabay, and I've downloaded that. I'm going to go over to here to create from image. I'm going to pick that picture because I want to show that it doesn't have to be just a black and white picture that you're using. I mean, you could, there's a lot of things like this. There's a little mother and baby elephant there, things like that that are on Pixabay. But there are also some, I'm trying to find, what did I do with my meditation picture? Oh, there's one like this with the mother and baby, which is kind of nice. I'm pretty sure the meditation picture is below that. There it is. Finally. Okay. Even like this ship on the water, some things that are, or a tree here, that kind of thing. These are things that can be done also, or the silhouette of this tree. Somebody also downloaded a picture of a crop circle, which made a really interesting um, rug pattern and anything that has contrasting colors. And in that one, it's just got a green field with kind of yellow, holes where the crop circle was made. And even that is enough of a contrast that you can use this feature that I'm going to be showing here in just a second. So let's open this up. Okay, and the feature I'm talking about is this down here, this make black and white picture, make black and white out of something. Let's make this a little bit, let's crop that a little bit first. So we're looking just at the figure in the center, okay? And what this will do is it's going to take the darker portions of the picture and make them black, and the lighter portions of the picture and make them white, okay? And it's based on this slider value, which starts at 120. It's kind of in the center, so if we do it there, we get a picture that is too dark. That's not right. So we'll undo that, okay? And if your picture is too dark, you want to slide the slider over to the left. And you can do that through experimentation. You can find that out. And then at that point, that orangey color in the background becomes too light. It falls on the other side of this threshold that we're setting here. And that means that it becomes white, and then the darker portion becomes black. So it kind of splits the picture into what would be black and white. If we go this way with the slider, let's undo that and do it, then we're getting all black for this picture. Most pictures don't get quite that black that quickly, but basically this slider will show you will determine where the dividing line is in the color scheme to determine what to make white and what to make black. And so this worked really well for the crop circle picture and for some other things too. You can make a silhouette using this make image black and white option down here, and then you can use that to put over something or make the colors show up like inside of that that silhouette also. Okay, I'm just gonna quit out of here. Okay, let's share this project. Okay, so you just pick project share. We click the checkbox there, say share. Then it's a little busy for a second, and then we have a link here. So I'm just going to select that link, and then I'm just going to use Control C. I'm on a Windows machine to copy that out. You can also go and post it directly on Facebook. This also will let you post it to a Facebook group, and so that's very useful also. But I'm just going to make a copy of this link for now. And I just want to show you what it does if we put this in here. Okay, so this is what it would look like when you go to that link that I'm sharing in the description. It'll be this link. This is for the graphgan pattern, right? You get the pattern here, which is kind of like a small picture of it, but the larger picture with the lines and the grid and everything is down here under this pattern link. So you click pattern, and then you get, there we go. Okay, so that'll get you the picture when you click on that pattern link. To save that image as like a PNG file to your own computer, you can just right click on this and say save image. And the pattern key is this one here. That will show you the key. It'll tell you what yarn we're using, and it'll show you what the colors are and what the color key is for all the colors in there. Same thing there. You can print that, or you can get a download of that with save image as. You can also get both of those in the pattern PDF. It usually takes a little bit to load. There it goes. Okay. So you can load it, you can get it into a pattern PDF where you have the pattern up above and you have the color key down below. Okay, this PDF works really good in applications like Knit Companion. I've used this in Knit Companion, where you can load the PDF in there, and then you can zoom into wherever you're at, and you can put crosshairs on it where you're working and that kind of thing. Keep track of your work right there on your phone, which is really useful. Let's see, and the last one is load as project. So that will open up a copy of the grid designer. It'll say a project's been shared with you, and you can then load it in there. Okay, and this is a copy of the project. At this point, you can save it to any name that you want. Right now it has no name when you first pull it up, and you can go in here and you can save it to whatever name you want to call it. And you can go in here, you can use the editing tools, you can edit it, you can print it out, you can download it from here. It's all the things that you can do, normally in the grid designer, you can do with this project. So I think this is, really great way to share things. I do this on all my blog pages when I have something like this. Share it so that other people can go in, they can edit it if they want to and make it their own, and and whatever. So that's what this will look like if you go to the link that will be shared in the description. And there'll be another one there also for the latch hook rug with the latch hook rug yarn in it. Okay, so I think that's about it. Thank you very much for watching, and happy designing. Bye.